The mystery, which is the love that we call God, is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. On behalf of Holy Cross Lutheran Church, welcome and happy Thanksgiving. Holy Cross is an inclusive community which is progressive in approach and Christ-like in action. My name is Dawn Hutchings, and I am privileged to serve as the pastor at Holy Cross. Thank you for joining us to worship as we celebrate Thanksgiving. Our order of service can be downloaded from our website, holycrosslutheran.ca. As this video goes online, I am enjoying a short visit with my family in Vancouver. So as you worship with us, I expect to be smelling the sweet smells of dinner cooking, the sounds of children racing around, and the loving smiles of family members happy to be together. We have all come a long way since last Thanksgiving. I know that many of you are grateful to be able to gather with family and friends to feast together with gratitude. I hope that each of you are finding ways to express your gratitude for all of life's blessings. To our American friends, congratulations, you get to enjoy an extra helping of Thanksgiving. We Canadians, we celebrate Thanksgiving for the harvest in October because by the time the third week in November arrives, the harvest has come and gone up here and winter is nipping at our nose. Let's get things started by exercising our gratitude muscles with some music. As always, we worship as we live, in the presence of the mystery which is, beyond the beyond and beyond that also, our lover, beloved, and love itself. Thanks be to all that is holy. The power of Christ who rises in every act of loving kindness, the love which is God, and the breath of the Holy Spirit is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. In the presence of the source of all being, we are surrounded with blessings more numerous than we can count. As we call our blessings to mind, let us remember the one who is the source of all. We offer thanks for the beauty of the earth, the wonders of life, the splendor of each new day, the pleasures of our bodies, the tenderness of our companions, the wealth of generations of wisdom, the promise of tomorrow, life beyond our limited vision, the presence of love divine, the ability to respond to our blessings with grace, love, and compassion. We give thanks and praise to the one who is, Creator Christ and Spirit One. Amen.
A contemporary reading by Brother David Steindl Rast. A good day. You think that this is just another day in your life. It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open, that incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for our pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment, with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather, and even with the weather, we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day right now, with its unique weather, may be a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same as it is right now. Open your eyes. Look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you have met. Each one has an incredible story behind their face, a story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water, if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch, and there is electric light. You turn a faucet, and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water, a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which you can open your heart. And so I am wishing you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you, that everyone you will meet on this day will be blessed by you, just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessings all around you. Then it will really be a good day.
The rain outside has stopped. The air is cool and damp. The overcast gray sky promises that there is more rain to come. It is what some would describe as a dreary day. But I love even these gray days of autumn, for the cool air, for the damp grass, the vivid greens, and the changing colors of the leaves remind me of long, wet walks, warm fireplaces, and hot soup. As one season changes into another, I am at this moment preparing to fly away to Vancouver to visit my family for Thanksgiving. But before I leave, I have this sermon to offer you, as the miracles of technology allow me to celebrate Thanksgiving in two places at once. As always, I begin with the scriptures assigned for Thanksgiving Sunday. But I don't get very far, just a few verses into the reading from the book of the prophet Joel, who encourages his people with these words: "Rejoice, children of Zion, rejoice. Be glad in Yahweh your God, who sends you rain, the autumn and spring rains as of old, and a new spring crop. The threshing floors will be heaped with grain, the vats will overflow with new wine and oil. I will repay you for the years that were eaten away." The prophet then goes on to list the various plagues of locusts which infest the land. But I'll stop here to let you fill in the blanks about the plague which has infested our lands. Just as the people are left reeling from plagues of locusts, the prophet exclaims, "Rejoice, rejoice, be glad in Yahweh, who sends you rain." On this Thanksgiving, let me echo the prophet of old by saying, "Rejoice, dear ones. Rejoice in the one in whom we live and move and have our being. Rejoice in the splendid autumn rains which come to us as gifts from creation, which bestows such bountiful harvests upon us that our cups overflow with wine and our tables are teeming with food. Rejoice because the scientists have gifted us with vaccines, and once again, all over this land, families may gather to feast together. Rejoice, for life is good and sweet. Rejoice, for even though we have many challenges to meet, today is a day for feasting and rejoicing. This overcast gray day and my imminent departure to Vancouver reminds me of the beauty of West Coast rainy days. Sometimes the monotony of rainy coastal days can make the inhabitants of Vancouver as dreary as the dark clouds laden with the heaviness of the endless damp, cool, dark days. There is one damp and dreary day in Vancouver which stands out from all the other damp and dreary days for me. The rains had been falling for weeks on end. There was a sogginess to life which robbed people of their smiles. We just dashed about in the rain, hoods on, umbrellas up, heads down. That's how I raced to catch the bus to work every morning. And once on board, the moist air fogged up the windows, and together with most of my fellow passengers, I would doze in and out of consciousness as our bus carried us from the suburbs into the city to our jobs. I had been riding that very same bus for about 2 years. Week in and week out, the very same passengers would board at the very same stops and settle into their seats and doze off or bury their heads in their books. No talking. It was way too early for talking. We all got off at the same stops each morning to spend our days in offices. Then at 6:15, I would stand with the same people at the same bus stop and get on the same bus to doze off once again until the bus let me off at my stop so that I could make the mad dash through the endless rain to my car so that I could head for the warmth of home. 45 minutes to work and 45 minutes home from work. That is, if you were lucky and the traffic didn't make it longer. We traveled in relative silence and gloom. Occasionally, people would nod or smile at the all too familiar faces of our daily traveling companions, but words were reserved for sunny days when people found the energy to exchange pleasantries. It was as if there was this unwritten rule that nobody had the energy or the inclination to break. We saw one another almost every day, and yet we knew absolutely nothing about one another, and that was the way we were determined to keep it. But on this one particular dull, depressing morning, in addition to being tired, I was also wet, soaked right through. The wind was really blowing, so I carried my umbrella in vain. Unable to open it, I had to rely on my hood to keep me dry. The bus was running late and the water seeped through my jacket. When I finally climbed on board, the windows were totally steamed, obscuring the view of the darkened, wet world through which we traveled. I was determined to ignore the damp, so I settled in for what I hoped would be a short nap before we reached the city. I was just managing to doze off when the bus screeched to a halt. Several passengers climbed aboard. All but one of the passengers were recognizable. I'd seen them hundreds of times before, but the young man who loudly greeted the bus driver with a cheery hello, him I had never seen before. He struggled to fold his broken umbrella as he stumbled to the rear of the bus. He sat opposite me and proceeded to greet everyone around him. People weren't sure how to take this. Some just nodded and then looked away. Others mumbled a greeting before fixing their gaze out the window. I smiled, nodded, and then closed my eyes, determined to escape into sleep. The young man continued to fuss with his umbrella. He explained in a loud voice that the umbrella was a gift from his sister and he hoped that it wasn't ruined. He asked the gentleman seated beside him if he could help him fold his umbrella. The somewhat flustered gentleman proceeded to fold the umbrella without a word. When the task was completed, the young man thanked the gentleman and asked him what his name was. He said he wanted to be able to tell his sister who the nice man was that had helped him with his umbrella. Without revealing his name, the gentleman assured the young man that it wasn't necessary to thank him. The young man proceeded to break all the unwritten rules and said that his name was Michael, and then he told us all that he had never ridden on this bus before. He usually had to get a bus that went to the city in the afternoon, and then he would get a ride home after dinner with his sister. But on this day, he would begin to work full days at his job. So he had to catch this bus in the morning darkness. Michael went on to tell us that the bus we were riding in was much nicer than the one he usually caught. He decided that this bus must be a new bus, and weren't we lucky to get to ride on a new bus. Then Michael took off his hat, held it out in front of him so that we could all see it, and declared that he was the luckiest person in the world because his mother had bought him this wonderful hat which kept his head dry. Michael went on to tell us all sorts of details about his life. Now, at first, people managed to listen without responding. But as Michael went on describing his wonderful life, people found that in spite of themselves, they were drawn into conversation. As we approached the tunnel, which normally causes traffic to back up in rush hour, it was clear that there must have been some sort of accident in the tunnel. It was going to be a long commute. There would be no escaping Michael's enthusiasm. Before long, we all knew that Michael worked in the mailroom of a securities company. He assured us that this security company was a safe place to work because they didn't take care of the safety of people. They just took care of pieces of paper which were called stocks and bonds, and they were very important. Michael told us just how much he loved his job. Having a job was the best thing in the world. Before he had the job, he didn't have any money to help his parents. But now he had enough money to help his parents and lots of money left over besides. Michael told us that he was really lucky because he worked with really nice people who took very good care of him and let him do all kinds of fun jobs. Michael then began asking his fellow passengers if they too had jobs, and one by one the people around him began to tell him, and indeed all of us, where they worked and what they did. Michael was full of enthusiasm for the various jobs we did. He even managed to be excited when I told him that I worked in an accounting department and that my job was to count things. Michael said he was very good at counting. He had learned how when he was just a little boy. He liked counting, and he thought that it would be great fun to be able to count things all day long. He sometimes was allowed to count supplies in the supplies cupboard, and he really liked doing that. At some point on our journey, Michael began to speak about the weather. Michael loved the rain. He told us how important the rain was and how wonderful it was that it rained so much in Vancouver. Our trees could grow taller and bigger than trees anywhere else, and our flowers, they just loved all the rain, and there was so much food in the stores because the rain helped the vegetables to grow. Michael's joy began to infect us all. People smiled at one another. People began to speak and to respond to Michael's joy. Some of us even waved at him when he got off at his stop, telling us all to have a good day and that he would see us all tomorrow. On that day, and on every other day that I rode the bus with Michael, I was reminded, whether I liked it or not, of the beauty and the wonder of life. Somehow Michael managed to pierce our dullness. Michael was able to make us forget that his behavior was inappropriate, that he was intruding on us, or that the timing was all wrong, or that he was breaking all of our unwritten rules. Michael burst into our lives and interrupted our routines, and in the middle of a dull, damp, and dreary funk, Michael reminded us of how truly blessed we are. Michael's daily reminders challenged us all to remember our many blessings. So, on this gray day, as I anticipate some wet Vancouver days in my immediate future, I remember Michael's joy. And so I just couldn't help myself. Joy filled my heart, and my own widening smile caused me to rejoice and be glad. And so I share Michael's story with you, so that you, dear ones, might rejoice with me. Rejoice and be glad in the mystery in which we live and move and have our being. Yes, we have challenges aplenty. COVID has not left us, and yes, there will be sadness on this Thanksgiving Day for some. The world is full of people in need. But rejoice, I say, for we are richly blessed, blessed to be a blessing. Rejoice and be glad. Rejoice and feast on the bounty of our tables and in the joy of our families and friends. Rejoice and give thanks for this good day. And when the feasting is done, loosen your belts, settle in for some rest and relaxation, however you take your rest, whether it's football or a good book or a fireside chat. Relax and be of great joy, because each and every one of us, we have a job waiting for us when the holiday is over. There are people out there who need us to be love in the world. There are injustices to be tackled, needs to be met, lonely people to be comforted, and peace to be made. Rejoice and be glad. For as my friend Michael would say, we are the luckiest people in the world. We have a job. Rejoice and be glad. Give thanks, for life is full to overflowing. Rest and relax. Then give thanks again, for we have great jobs to do. May we always remember just how blessed we are. I hope that each of you may know the kind of joy which my friend Michael exuded each and every day. May we always notice each and every blessing as it comes. May we always take the time to cultivate gratitude. May our gratitude always infect others with joy. Rejoice and be glad, for this day and every day is a gift we can share with one another. So let us share our gratitude and bring joy to the world by loving lavishly, living fully, and being love in the world. Thanks be to all that is holy. I invite you into silence so that your own gratitude for the many gifts of this blessed day may speak volumes to you. Let the wisdom born of gratitude shape us to live in joy. May the love in which we live and move and have our being find expression in, with, through, and beyond us, so that all may see in us a reflection of the love which is beyond the beyond and beyond that also, our lover, beloved, and love itself. Amen. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. May we always remember just how blessed we are. I hope that each of you may know the kind of joy which my friend Michael exuded each and every day. May we always notice each and every blessing as it comes. May we always take the time to cultivate gratitude. May our gratitude always infect others with joy. Rejoice and be glad, for this day and every day is a gift we can share with one another. So let us share our gratitude and bring joy to the world by loving lavishly, living fully, and being love in the world. Love in the name and for the sake of the one who is beyond the beyond and beyond that also, our lover, beloved, and love itself. Amen. Friends, all that is left for me to do is to wish each and every one of you a safe and happy Thanksgiving. The peace of divine mystery is with you all. Thanks be to all that is holy. Shalom, dear ones. Shalom.
We hope that you have found this broadcast to be of value to you at this time. To continue to offer these, we depend on the support of donors. If you wish to help to keep us going, please donate what feels right for you via Canada Helps to Holy Cross Lutheran Church, Newmarket. Peace be with you.